94 Rocks, Jay-Z backstage once again at MidSummer Music Fest 2025, and just getting off the stage a few minutes ago, the band Eva Under Fire, and I'm talking with the lead singer Amanda, and I got to break into that right away here because most people know you as Eva Marie, but your real name is Amanda, and it sounds like you're trying to maybe change that a little bit, that image-wise of what you guys originally were.
Yeah, it's interesting. We're a band that is self-contained. We go out to the merch booth, and so everybody thought that my name was Eva because that's, of course, the band name Eva Under Fire. And so eventually, rather than telling them a 20-minute story, it just became, yes, that's my name. So I felt like it was very, very much a crowd that crowned me with this name, right? But in my real life, my name is Amanda, and nobody else calls me Eva. And so, we kind of really... this new album is a lot about coming into our own, so I wanted to just make sure that we leaned into that, and we wrote a song. It's called My Own Name. It's going to be so sick, but the song is called My Own Name, and I was like, I think I could just go back to Amanda. People just know me as Amanda. It's Amanda from Eva Under Fire. People can ask me all day long what the thing is with the name of the band, and I guess if you want the story, I'll give it to you later, but it worked out well with this new album, and like I said, coming into our own has been important, so I want people to know my real name. Awesome.
Very cool, and that's awesome to hear. Let's talk about, first of all, played Minnesota today. You played a festival here, the first time you've ever played here. I saw you guys play a couple years ago at Rockfest over in Cadott, Wisconsin, and once again you didn't disappoint with your set. Heard some new songs. I want to get to that in just a moment, but do you enjoy playing festivals, especially in front of a lot of people that maybe have never heard about you before?
Festivals are the best crowds for that, man. They truly are. Rock audiences at festivals, there's nothing like it because they don't care. They will just they're out there losing their mind, and if you love what you're doing, they will also love it. So yeah, I love playing festivals. Are probably our favorite.
Minus maybe the heat, because obviously the climate control maybe not the best. Obviously, we're in a fish house here in the middle of Minnesota, which is pretty much, for people in Minnesota, they always are hanging out in a fish house, especially in the winter time. Nice. So have you ever ice fished before?
I've never ice fished before, but somebody told me that that's exactly what this is for, and I said, well, if I ever was to be invited, the next question is going to be, do you also have a fish house? Because I do not want to be open air, in the middle of the winter on a frozen lake somewhere, right? I'm going to be like, is there an enclosed space? Because this is a very nice fish house.
Absolutely. And today, it's not heat, but air conditioning in here, so that's a good thing, right?
Man. Yes. Thank you, Guitar Tech Brandon, for coming in and turning on the air conditioning before we got here, because he was like, oh, it's a little warm. I should kick this on. So that's, thankfully, we didn't die. I think it was in the 90s when we were playing. It had to have been, yeah. And the stage, of course, beautiful stage, but it's situated so that the sun was directly on the stage for our performance, which was an hour long. So, circular breathe and lots of water.
Well, I tell you what, you had the crowd behind you, especially when you did a little tribute to Ozzy, too. What did Ozzy mean to you, I guess?
Wow. Okay, so my parents are the original rockers, and I grew up on Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin and Metallica, and right. So I was always so nervous to cover those songs because that's the untouchables. Those are the icons. You're not supposed to do that. And then I got with these fools, and they were like, you sound really good singing. You should just do those songs because we can. I was like, are you sure? This is yeah. So about 4 years ago, we had the idea to cover War Pigs, and it just kept going so well, and I think it's so relevant still for the times. It's just so many people now are so divided on so many different things, and so to sing a song like that with those lyrics, and that part's very special to me. And so I reshared it recently on TikTok, and I said, it's crazy that this song written in the 70s is still relevant. And Geezer Butler got wind of it and shared it and said this is a good version of War Pigs, and then everything that was, the video got like a million views or something, so it was really cool. Well,
it made you connect with the fans here too after your first couple songs, and then you came with that. It's a good way to connect, especially to a rock community, metal community, isn't it?
That's the other thing that I put in the video, and I said, this when Ozzy passed away, that was exactly what we reshared, was us doing that song live. And I said, we have been able to connect with so many people through this music this is what is legendary, right? I mean, what an iconic voice to usher in a new era of metal. So, I mean, just crazy awesome to be able to like share that with others, and yeah, super special.
Well, it's hard to believe he hasn't been on this rock for less than a week, and he's already touching everybody, and how he's brought everybody together in this community.
Yeah, I mean, I told everybody. So we've been touring for a couple years. You know, we've been now writing for a year. So, but we have several friends that were at that last Black Sabbath performance. Back to the beginning, and so it was surreal that we had personal friends of ours that were in attendance at this like massive event. And what a fundraiser! What a crazy moment! And just, I mean, people just from all walks of life in tears over this amazing final, send off. And then when he passed away, it was like, wow, we didn't know it, but we all just like attended his funeral. That was wild. It was like a living goodbye. Wild. I mean, I just, but he was an icon. So I guess if there's any exit, it's going to be that one,
Let's talk about your band, Eva Under Fire. Chris, you're out of Detroit, Michigan, and you started, I think, back in 2015 as a band. So you've been rocking for, 10 years already. Really started to get some traction rock radio-wise in 2022 with your song Blow and that. I'm assuming that was kind of your breakout moment maybe when it comes to rock radio? Yeah,
that was a wild ride. So, Album 1 we did with some hometown boys, and that song in particular was an interesting one because I had never really leaned into this whole like, have fun with it, be flirty with it kind of moment. So they were like, you should lean into this for this song because it's very like upbeat, and I was like used to very dark, very poetic stuff, which is usually what our go-to is when we write. So it was pushing me to get out of my comfort zone. So it was really fun that it was the first song that went to radio. Super fun that Ice Nine also jumped on like when Spencer jumped on the track, it was next level. And that's funny because all of that was during COVID weirdness. So it was kind of like the Suits coordinated him being on the song, and we filmed his part in the music video separately. But then fast forward to almost a year later, we were playing, I think it might have been Aftershock.
Rockville.
It was Rockville. Thank you. It was Welcome to Rockville. Shout out Ed. Welcome to Rockville. And I was just sitting outside waiting for these guys to get out of the bathroom, and Spencer comes walking by, and I just like pointed and waved, and he goes, I'm about to blow. Like he came over to me like starting to sing the song. You know what I mean? It was so sick. So I loved it. It was our very first meet in person. He said thanks so much for having him on the song, and he loved it. So I was so grateful that he not only recognized who we were, but that he really loved the song. And yeah.
Have you gotten a chance to play it with him at all?
No, so honestly, his schedule and our schedule has been way different. Like we haven't been able to like do the tour and stuff together yet. Yeah, but there's always next time, right?
There's always next time, that's for sure. And which was cool today watching you perform, because you actually played 2 new songs for us. So I'm sure people are kind of wondering, where's Eva Under Fire? What's going on with them? So it sounds like you've got some new stuff in the works. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure can. Like I said, we've been writing for about a year. Album 2 is locked and loaded and ready. So we are very excited that it's finally going to be starting to roll out very, very soon, like fall time soon. So these tracks are heavy. These tracks are heavy. This is about finding ourselves as a band, as a unit. Individually, we've all been through some things, and so these songs are really thematically about all of the journey to get to this place. And so the new stuff is, as I mentioned on stage, Villainous. That's going to be the title track of the new album, right? And it's about everything that we've learned in this industry. There's been so many highs, but so many lows, and I know everybody's talked about it. And so we hadn't experienced that until recently. And so this felt very cathartic to finally put it all into words. And the moment that we figured out in the studio that we could do some drop tune stuff, we were like, game on, let's go. It hits hard.
Well, I tell you what, obviously hearing your song Blow, and then obviously Unstoppable, this totally a lot different than what you guys have put on rock radio. For me personally, I think it's 100% better. I just love it. I love the sound. And I think also rock radio over the last 10 years has really started to embrace the heavy metal sound and even just the hardness of rock compared to maybe what it was back in the early 2000s and that. So hopefully it sounds like you're kind of going back to your true roots of what you want to do.
1,000%. I mean, if for those people who've been following us for a long time, if you listen to some of our earlier stuff, it's very much a lot more like poetic type lyricism, a lot more like honest about our experiences. I think that there was a familiarity when we started writing album 2 that we just felt so much better about, and I think that'll translate when we start to play the stuff live. And I also think that people are looking for things that are more honest, especially the rock community, because if it's not real, they're not into it. So this album is gonna be that. No more flowery stuff.
Well, we opened up this interview with, obviously, you're saying I'm not Eva Marie anymore, I'm Amanda, so that's you're being honest with that, and obviously you're true to your fans on that too.
Yeah, we're ripping the Band-Aid off, you guys. There's no, like when I think any new band comes into the game and they're listening to a lot of different voices, and so there's always going to be some sort of shift, some sort of alteration to what you're doing. But when you get to album 2, you're not really listening to a lot more people anymore. Now it's just like, yeah, sure, of course, and then close the door and do what you were going to do anyway.
Absolutely. So you said end of the year, new album and new song sometime too. Any dates yet? Or I'm assuming your label is probably saying can't say any of that yet.
I don't know whether or not they are saying that, but it's October 17th. The song's called Awakening.
I love it. All righty. That sounds good. Ripping off the Band-Aid, and that's what's happening. Yeah. So I'll see that in my inbox sometime, probably in early October then.
You're absolutely right. Cheers. Yeah, please. I mean, like I said, this is an awakening from just trying to take off the rose-colored glasses and really be, telling people that they're not alone is always been very important to us. I mean, you can probably hear a lot more of that tone listening to some of our older songs, Heroin, Comatose, The Strong. These new songs lyrically are a lot more like that, but it's also heavier.
I love it. So then obviously you're dropping an album. That means tour has to be happening at some point. Any ideas on tours yet? We got something in the works, something that's planned maybe for end of the year, or for the most part probably in 2026.
We are planning. We don't have anything nailed down just yet. There are a couple of dates that we have coming out with our homies, Buck Cherry, which is going to be super sick. Because I don't know if you know this, but the very first tour that we were ever part of was Buck Cherry. Okay. So this is also kind of really great, leans into the theme of going back to our roots. And, those guys, they love that we have like an old school story. We grew up playing in their, garage together. Still do. So this will be a fun run. But then after that, we're building our own story. So for any bands out there listening and they love the Awakening song, please let us know because we want to tour.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, that's true. And you know what? 2026 is a wide open slate for you guys. So hopefully bigger and better things to come. And I know we got to get going here, but I appreciate your time. Thanks so much for hanging out with me a little bit, Amanda. And I'm looking forward to the new song, the new album coming up the later of the year.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for having us. Appreciate you. Thanks for rocking out for us.
Once again, that's Amanda. She's the lead singer of the band Eva Under Fire. It's Jay-Z backstage at MidSummer Music Fest for 94 Rocks.